day I wake up is another blessing. Thankful every second, getting God's protection. I lost connection in the desert, I had no reception. But in that time alone, I probably learned 1,000 lessons. I used my time for introspection and some self-reflection, and analyzed a couple ways to conquer my depression. Everything doesn't happen the way we plan it to, but if we harvest energy, then we can plan it too. So take a look in my eyes, that's where the story.
And then the last video, I think came out today. Diablo 4 seasons are about to change. I have no clue what that means at all, but DM's gonna let us know what it means.
A little bit of interesting news here for the future of seasons for Diablo 4.
Okay.
Now, this right here is a screenshot from the Gamer Rant article that talks about how Diablo 4 currently is hiring a new lead season designer.
Yo, the outlets out, the gaming outlets out here are on Diablo's ass out here to this, like, it is on them.
That's right, a season designer. Now, I don't know how you feel about the seasons. I'll be honest with my opinion. It's kind of a little lackluster. I feel like the cage charts are pretty cool, but there's not really a lot of other mechanics. This job posting would seem to suggest that they're looking for more help designing the future seasons. Now, this comes from a Gamer Rant article, and I'll have the link down below if you're interested in viewing it. But as you scroll down, it says that there's other job postings available, which are still up. You can find them. However, the lead season designer one seems to have been filled, or at a minimum, the postings removed, as you can no longer find that one. Now, we already know there's multiple things coming with the seasons. For instance, Season 2 is supposed to be the season that resistances are fixed, and by Season 3, we're supposed to be getting leaderboards. And obviously, the seasons, as they're out, they're continuing to get updates, like we've seen with the patch notes here with 1.1.1, which will be coming.
So they didn't even finish making the game. They're still making the game.
It's going to be arriving on the 8th. And while this patch does actually come with updates that are going to be nice, for instance, like monster density, some of these buffs to class changes, etc., you know, some gym row improvements here. None of these changes are things about like adding new season mechanics or new seasonal quests or big boss fights or anything like that. This is just like sort of core gameplay balances. And these are good changes. I mean, overall, these are going to be beneficial changes overall for like the health of the entirety of the game, including the Eternal Realm. But speaking of the Eternal Realm, the same website that posted about the lead season designer article is actually posted an article as well, saying that people are getting banned, and they linked to some sources showing that, yep, ban waves are in fact coming through for people that were using this exploit. This is why I recommend not to do it. Season 1 will end on October 17th, and I actually find myself playing less during Season 1 than just during the Eternal Realm. I think I was kind of expecting a little bit more than just the cage charts. I'm also hoping that the lead season designer decides to buff the season journey a little bit. You do get favors in like a couple aspects, but these caches from the clips I've seen are not very rewarding. At the end, you get a couple titles, which is about the completion of it. And then other than that, it's basically about using those for the season blessing. Give yourself a little bit bonus of XP. So I get like 5% bonus XP to kill. This feels like these could probably be buffed significantly. But even with me playing like a little bit less than normal and playing kind of casually, I'm already on 86. The tier for the battle pass goes to 90, and then I will have completed that. After that, it's just completing the season journeys, which should be fairly easy. I just got to actually play the game. And at that point, the season is going to end on October 17th, and that's kind of a wrap for Season 1. So what I'm hoping is that Season 1 was really sort of a test for them. Like, okay, let's get the seasonal mechanics out. This is what they already had ready. They hire some new people. They basically make the seasons better going into the next seasons. I don't think Season 1 is complete trash or anything like that. But it definitely wasn't as exciting as I was hoping. I will say I like the cage charts, and I'm not negging on the cage charts. I actually think they're very enjoyable, especially the Necromancer one. But some of them feel so good, I'm actually going to be sad when the game goes back to the Eternal Realm. I was kind of hoping for more mechanics beyond the cage charts, but really it's the cage charts, the battle pass, and the season journey, which is the byproduct, which gives you the battle pass anyway, and then you get like a few bonus experience from favors. So I think that they could buff a lot of the season mechanics without like ruining the game or making things like super crazy or OP. my feedback for them would be the Nightmare Dungeons are cool, and I know we're buffing density, rewards, experience, and all that in the Nightmare Dungeons, but please don't forget about the really awesome world we have, and hopefully Season 2 will have more focuses on things like maybe the strongholds, or going around the world and fighting different big bosses they drop, etc. It feels to me like the overworld is getting a little bit forgotten as we focus more and more and more on getting people into these instances like Malignant Tunnels and the Nightmare Dungeons, which is perfectly fine for grinding. If you're a grinder type of person, that's pretty acceptable gameplay. You just want to get in and farm over and over and over again. The Nightmare Dungeon, nice addition, the bonus XP and loot, definitely not complaining about that. But I feel like if we're going to force people to do the same content over and over and over again when we have a giant open world like this that is fairly large, enjoyable, and just, you know, ripe for the plucking of dropping good things around the world to complete, then you're going to force people to get more stale of the game quicker if what we're doing is the same dungeon over and over and over again. So my feedback for them is next season, maybe do things like the Tree of Whispers are way better. So that way you can actually do the Tree of Whispers, run around, do all of these different things in the overworld, and feel like you're not really wasting your time instead of just running the same Nightmare Dungeons over and over again. Also, the Renown, in my opinion, is something that just definitely
This is
should
what I want to know about.
100%
How is
carry
this
over
working?
at this point. Refarming the Renown, I actually was going back and forth about this. I was like, oh, it's not a big deal, the altars and all that. It's actually highly annoying, because when you're playing hardcore, and let's say you get to like tier 4, right? And I die with this being completed, and I only need like 100 more points to complete this. Your Renown actually resets all the way back to 3, and even though I've already farmed 4 on hardcore,
so you only get the first 2.
I have to do 3 again, I have to do 4 again, and then I have to do 5, even though I was already like 100 points. I thought they'd give you the first 3 for the skill points. Which is a moment in the game when you're just like, I don't want to redo this. And when I experienced that moment, that made me realize, oh, that's how people.
I already don't want to redo it.
Seasonal character that really just big chilling on the game that spent all their time doing the Renown. They're like, oh, I have to do this again, and it just kind of deflates you a little bit with the season. So I don't think it's a big deal if everyone starts with their
Do I have to
Renown
finish all of
fully
them?
completed. Something else that doesn't make a lot of sense for me, speaking of Renown, is the fact that this is a softcore character. I have been playing hardcore in the seasons. Now, on my hardcore, I have Fractured Peaks all the way completed in terms of Renown. But when I go on my softcore, it's not completed, because softcore and hardcore are separate types of characters. Now, this would make perfect sense, because I don't want the softcore to be able to go in and grind everything, and then my hardcore becomes stronger for it. But I don't see any reason that I have to redo the Renown as a softcore when I just did it as a hardcore in a seasonal realm. This is a seasonal character. I did it on the harder version of it without dying. So why, when I make a character that is now allowed to die, do I need to do it? There's no integrity of the game already lost. I've already completed this in a harder game mode, and now I must do it again just because it's softcore. I get the other way around. Softcore can't use a little exploit or whatever to make hardcore easier. But why in God's name do we have to do it twice if we can do it on the hardcore already? So for me, I want to play hardcore in the Necromancer for the challenge, and I want my progress that I made on Renown when I make my softcore Barbarian to count. I don't understand why it's not that way. I get, like I say, I get why softcore can't do it, but hardcore is literally harder. So that would seem to be fine to allow that to carry over as well. So I'm hoping a lot of these little quality of life things are getting smoothed out. For instance, like I mentioned, the horse is going to be able to blast through the barricades.
Dang, Diablo,
I think
fix your game.
Accepting feedback that players have said, because that's something that's directly been mentioned that should be allowed. I mean, that's been the feedback point. They just took that one from the audience. I think if they continue to do that, those quality of life, it's going to make the game better. And hopefully this new season lead designer is going to kind of change the future of the seasons to make them a little bit more involved, intricate, and with some more mechanics. That's why, for me, my plan for the season is just to continue the live stream every day, which you can find in the description or in the pinned comment. Play hardcore, continue to die over and over and over again. There's no competition in the game at the moment.
I think he's died a couple times since the last time we watched.
Slamming my head into the wall, not looking up builds, just trying whatever I think is going to be fun. Playing the hardcore Necromancer. I'm on my 4th attempt to hit level 100 right now, and we're going to see if we can do it. And I will have that all live as well for you guys.
Am I a bad gamer, guys? He's on his 4th 100 character, and now I didn't even get my first character to 100.
Of a consistent, really
my
pushing,
only character, I should
competitive
say,
type of perspective. But for now, I still see no reason to do it. So I'm hoping this new season lead designer is actually a good thing for the game, in my own personal opinion.
I think I'm gonna
That's
make a
about it
couple
for
of.
news.
I'm
Good
gonna
luck
try
with
them
We'll
all
see you in the
out
live stream.
before I stop playing this game.
I'm hiding out, wilding out, cooling down, collecting thoughts till I find my route. And if they catch me, they'll be finding out what I'm about. Until then, I'm riding out. I'm hiding out, wilding out, cooling down, collecting thoughts till I find my route. And if they catch me, they'll be finding out what I'm about. Until then, I'm riding out, riding out. Check it out. I'm a desperado, I'm living it in real life. What's next to follow? I hit the bottle.